everybody. I'm Miss Tell It Like It Is. I am back. And today I'm going to talk about rejection. Okay? We've all been rejected. We've all been hurt. We've all been in a catastrophic state of mind, especially when we were rejected by those that we were in love with, or, you know, or when we put in our minds, this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. And some of us even convinced ourselves that this person was going to be with us and love us just as much as we love them. And a lot of times, a lot of us have been in very toxic relationships, and we have forgiven a man or a woman over and over for cheating, and took them back in hopes that they would change. And then at the end, when everything is said and done, everything falls together, and you're left there feeling like, I did everything. What happened? And a lot of us just, we grieve, we get angry, but then we move on. Well, there's some of us that don't move on. There's some of us who take it to a whole different level. And we feel like if he doesn't want me or she doesn't want me, guess what? Then no one will have them. And I will make sure that no one has them. And when you get in that state of mind, I call that a thin line between sanity and insanity. Okay, because you're no longer thinking rational. And it can happen to anybody. Trust me. It happened to me years ago. And I'm going to share my story. And some of y'all may say, why are you sharing this? Because in hopes to help somebody who may be going through, thinking insane, to let you know, hey, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? But I'm going to share this story with you. Years ago, I was so in love with this guy. I was so head over heels. We dated, and there was nothing I wouldn't do for him. I mean, I would help him out financially. I would give him good advice. I would give him good encouragement when he was down. I went the extra mile, and I always wanted him to love me. And somewhere in my head, I had this illusion like he loved me like I loved him, And no matter how cruel he was, I would brush it off. I'd be like, oh, he's just having a bad day, He loves me. I love him. We're going to be good, I forgave him for constant disrespecting me, constantly cheating. And I just said, things are going to get better. I'm just going to show him how much more I love him, and he's going to change. He's going to change. I promise you, he's going to change. And I remember one day he was supposed to come over my house because we were supposed to hang out. And I had just talked to him on the phone. He said, I'm coming over. Well, hours went by, you all, and I started calling just to find out that he turned off his phone. Well, I would start to think maybe something happened. I don't know, maybe it's an explanation why his phone is turned off. I didn't want to think the worst, but as hours went by, my mind started thinking other things, like he's cheating on me. And he lied to me. He told me he was going to come over, and he lied to me, and he turned off his phone. So I started leaving messages. I'm like, you need to call me. You need to tell me what's going on. 2 days went by, didn't hear anything from him. And by this time, you all, I left very angry messages. I was so angry. I was like, are you playing with my emotions? Are you really trying to bring the other side out of me? You need to call me ASAP, you know? So eventually he did call. And he said, what's up? What's up? How you doing? And I said, what's up? How am I doing? I said, 2 days ago, you were supposed to come over to my house. You told me you were on the way. And I said, and now you asking me how am I doing? I called you and you cut off the phone. I said, tell me what's going on. Just tell me what's going on. And you know, he told me, I don't owe you no explanation. And so I said, I love you. And I've shown you everything. I'm a good woman. Why can you not see that? Why do you constantly disrespect me? I've shown you enough for you to change. I said, I love you. Can you understand that? And he said to me, he said, you know, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's me. He said, what do you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you I love you when I really don't? Oh my God, y'all, when he told me that, it was like a dagger in my heart. I was just like, no, he didn't. And he said it again. Do you want me to lie to you? Now, back then, I didn't take kindly to that, y'all, even though he was telling me the truth. But now that I look back, I'm glad he didn't lie to me. He didn't tell me what I wanted to hear then. But I was so desperate for his acceptance, for his love, that I almost wanted him to lie to me back then, just to appease that feeling of being accepted and to be loved. So I asked him, I said, where are you? And he said, none of your business. And so, you know, this is where the thin line between sanity and insanity comes in, you all. I was like, let me tell you something. You can play with other people. You can do whatever you're doing out there. But don't play with me. I said, because you got the wrong one. Don't play with my emotions, okay? I said, now wherever you are, I'm going to find you. And when I find you, it's not going to be nothing nice. Okay. I was getting out of my character, y'all. I was feeling a little insane. And one day I finally found him. I did. I went straight to his house. I knocked on the door. He happened to be home. Okay. And when he opened the door, it was a lady. It was a girl standing right next to him. And she was all smooched up. And I was like, hold up. What's going on here? Like, why is she all over you? You supposed to be my boyfriend. Why is she all over you? Well, the girl could see how angry I was. So she stepped back. In fact, she kind of went back in the room. Well, he had some relatives right there. And he was like, oh, so this is how you going to show up? I said, hold up, wait a minute. You owe me an explanation. And I told you I was going to come and find you, didn't I? That's what I told him. He said, you want an explanation? I said, yes, I do. He said, come on out on the porch. So I went out on the porch and I was waiting for this explanation to like, what's up? You supposed to be my man, but you dodging me and you're not showing up when you say you're going to show up. So I just wanted an explanation, you all. So he looked at me. He said, you want an explanation? I said, yes, I do. He said, this your explanation. I don't owe you an explanation. Now get the hell off my porch. Well, as sane and as a law-abiding citizen that I am, y'all, I went from 0 to 100. And next thing I knew, I reared back with all my strength and I punched him right between the eyes. I punched him so hard, y'all. He fell back in the bushes. I almost knocked him out. His eyes was just like fluttering, and he went back into the bushes. And trust me, I'm not a violent person, but I just got so fed up. The word does say, provoke not one to wrath, leave a peaceful person peaceful. Well, he had provoked me to wrath because I was feeling like, you playing with my damn emotions? And then you won't give me an explanation? Okay, here you go, boom. So when he came to, y'all, he came out that bush, and he got a hold of himself, and he looked at me, he said, let's talk. You want to talk? Let's go inside. I went inside. I said, yeah, let's talk. When I went inside, he hit me like, boom. When he hit me, I flew across the room, but I stood up, y'all. I got up like it was not, because I didn't even feel it. I was so mad, my adrenaline was pumping. I said, is that all you got? Come on, we can take it there. So thank God he had some relatives around, because by this time they got in between us. And I was like, come on, I'm ready for you. Come on. But the relatives had pushed me outside the house. And by this time, something said, calm down. I think it was God talking to me, calm down. And I calmed down. I stood there. I was like, and then I knocked back on the door. I said, hello, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. And he wouldn't open the door, y'all, which I couldn't blame him. You feel me? So I left. But let me tell you how bad it got. In my mind, I did not want to accept that he was not in love with me. I did not want to accept that there was no future with us, okay? And I'm telling you, it was such, I would call it, I think it was a dark spirit, y'all. I really do. Because we're not just physical beings, we're spiritual beings. And everything around us is spiritual. We just don't see it all the time. But trust me, there are spiritual things that's always around us, okay? But this negative energy, I would call it so demonic, got up on me, y'all. I turned shades darker, okay? My hair began to thin out, and my tongue, I literally began to break out on my tongue. I became so enraged till my mind became occupied with revenge, with total revenge. It was like I wasn't even myself anymore. And I remember a very spiritual lady, she waited for me. And I got off my job and she was in the parking lot and she said, I need to pray for you. And I need to pray fast. And she put her hands on my head and she prayed for me in that parking lot. And as she prayed for me, you all, I felt better. My shade, my skin color became like it is now. And I felt better. My hair was still very thin. My tongue was broken out. But it was like a spirit of rage was taking me slowly over. And in my mind, I knew I needed help. I was like, I'm not, like, I was at work and I was so angry, but I was hiding my anger. I was so angry and I was like, how could he do me like this? Like, what is wrong with him? Has he lost his mind? But then slowly, y'all, I felt like I was losing my mind. But I'm telling you, it was a spirit, man. It was a demonic spirit that was slowly taking my butt over, okay? But the light in me wanted to accept help. That's why I let this woman pray for me. And I'm glad she did, because for the first time in my life, I felt what it was like to have the thin line between sanity and insanity. And I understood, even though I'm not condoning it, but I understood why you see so many homicides on the news. You hear about it in your city. You hear about it in other cities. You hear about it from someone. You always hear these domestic violence cases where a man has killed a woman, or vice versa, the woman has killed the man. I understood that mindset of insanity that goes through people's minds that commit these terrible acts. And I'm going to say to someone who may be going through not accepting rejection so well, and you may be on the brink of between sanity and insanity, I'm going to say stop and take a look at yourself, because it's not them rejecting you that is the cause of you wanting to lash out and do something very traumatic, but it is issues that you have not resolved in your life, maybe dating back to childhood, even going back to self-loving yourself. Because when you love yourself and you have resolved childhood rejections, then you will realize that nothing is worth unaliving someone else. You will realize that it is you. It is your inability to control another person's actions that has gotten you enraged. You have made that person your everything, your God, your best friend, your everything, your mama, your daddy, your everything. And you feel like this person is just going to leave me like this. You feel like you've lost control. So you feel like the only way to get control is taking this person out. But you have lost control. But guess what? You've lost control of yourself. It is not that person that has caused you to want to unalive them. It's the inability to control your own emotions in your own life and your own childhood rejections, pain, whatever you have gone through in your life. A lack of self-love for yourself. Because when you love yourself, you will know that people can come and go. But you have enough love for yourself to sustain. Yes, it may hurt like hell. But you will realize that everyone has the decision to stay or to leave. And you will realize that's okay, because you will end up being okay with yourself. You will know, hey, I got enough love to love me. And I'm going to tell you, if you really love someone, you will let them go. Because if you really love someone, you will never, ever, ever, ever unalive them. You will rather see them happy, even if they're not with you. And that's the point I had got to. You all, after I got prayed for, and that evil, I would call it a demonic spirit that got up on me, when that left, I realized, you know what? I love this person enough to let him go. There is nothing worth unaliving anyone. I love him enough to let him go. And that's what I did. And I learned to work with loving me and accepting myself, because I realized it was my insecurities of not loving myself and not seeing how important I was, and looking at him as my everything, my savior, oh, my happiness, my everything. I had put this whole illusion, oh, we're gonna build, we're gonna be happy. And I was the only one with that concept, that it was a total illusion. When I got to the point where I could accept that either a person can love you or they don't. They cannot make themselves love you. It's something that happens or it doesn't. When I got to that point, I was okay, you all. So I'm going to tell someone out there, man or woman, you may have been with someone for years, and they may not want to be with you anymore. Okay? And you may be feeling like, how do I go on without this person? How do I function? I'm so used to them. You go on, you cry. It's okay to get angry. Just don't let the rage overtake you. You pray and you ask the Creator to give you strength to accept reality and to move on. And maybe someone that, can pray for you to help you, But I feel like we all have a choice, you all. We all have a choice to stay sane or insane, okay? See, some people are already naturally crazy. And then some people are sane but just lose it, okay? But nevertheless, you have a choice. But remember, whatever decision you make, you're going to pay for it, whether it's prison or hell, or someone unalives you in the process you trying to unalive them. You will pay for it dearly. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? See, some of y'all feel like y'all don't have nothing to lose. That's an illusion. You have a lot to lose. And you will only feel like that if you don't love yourself. My channel is about dealing with self-love, self-acceptance, and analyzing yourself. A lot of times, people who cannot move on because they feel rejected is because really deep down, you have rejected yourself. You have rejected yourself, and you're looking for someone to accept you in order for you to accept yourself. And that is why it's so hard to let the person go, because you have put that person as your everything, as your life. This person can make me happy. This person makes me feel so good. Without them, I can't feel good about myself. Without them, I can't be happy. Without them, I have no love. Without them, I'm lonely. Without them, I'm lost. Well, when you find yourself, you're not lost, you're not lonely, you're not unhappy. When you find and love yourself, when you accept yourself, yes, it will hurt like hell. It will hurt to love someone who does not love you, or to love someone who wants to leave. But when you love yourself, you will let go. You will go through your grieving process because it's natural. But then you will come to a point where no matter how bad you may be hurting right now, and it may not feel like you're going to heal, trust me, you will. And you will always know there's other fish in the sea, baby. Okay? Don't just stop there at that one man or that one woman. When you heal, there's somebody for you. There's somebody for everyone. God has someone for everyone, okay? But that love that you was trying to give to that person, and they didn't want it, or they just didn't feel like you felt, it doesn't make them a bad person that they don't feel. They can't make themselves love you. Love is something that either happens in the heart or it doesn't. It's not something like, oh, okay, I decided today I'm going to love you. It's either there or not. If they come out and tell you they don't love you, that they don't want to be with you, yes, it may hurt like hell. But I'd rather be hurt with the truth than hurt with a lie. When I look back now, I'm glad that person, my ex, he didn't pretend. I just had to wake up and smell the coffee. He didn't pretend to love me. He couldn't even say it. And you know what? To this day, I still care. I still care about him. But now I have drawn a line. I've accepted. I've drawn a line between what's reality and what's not reality. And I said to myself, it's okay. It's okay to care for people who don't care for you. But just realize your boundaries, okay? Don't try to make someone love you that doesn't, because it will never, ever work. And every time you will get disappointed, you will get hurt, and you will be let down. If that person wants to let go, let them go. Because you holding on to them will only make you very miserable. And then you will never know who God really had for you, because you're holding on to someone who doesn't want you. And then you may be losing out on a blessing. I'm talking to a man or woman, a boy or girl out here. Make the choice to stay sane, okay? Let go, heal, and in time receive who God has for you. Because I'm like this. I'd rather have somebody that's going to be on my same page. I don't want someone that I got to try to make love me. I want somebody who can love me how I love them back. And that's how true love is. True love is not controlling anyone, okay? When you really love someone, you will let go. And you will accept the fact that, hey, this person isn't bad. This person just don't love you. He just don't love me. She just don't love me. Okay, yes, it hurts. It hurts like hell. But guess what? Life goes on. I'm going to heal. I may not want no one right now, but trust me, once you heal, yes, you'll want somebody. It may not feel like it, but you will. I'm just telling like this. I hope this helps somebody out there. Okay? Take care, Tulu.